Can you believe the fact that I didn't record last week and I'm only just recording now because I survived a weekend of having COVID after my sister just had COVID and like literally going through a million different things that required me to not sleep for more than 5 hours a single night. And here I am. I'm done. I'm cured now. I am back from the dead. It threw a little bit of a wrench into my plans, so I'm recording this video a little bit later than I would have liked, but it's okay. I am doing the 2024 mid-year book freakout tag, which is basically just me kind of like wrapping up some of the books I've read this year and like just categorizing them based on certain like questions, you know, like best blank blank blank, best other blank blank blank, stuff like that, okay? And now that we're in the middle of the year, I can say that since starting my channel in January, we are at almost 2,000 subscribers already. That is literally crazy. I could not have imagined this would happen when I started my channel back in January. So I'm completely blown away by all the support, and I'm eternally grateful for it. And I am recording this on the last day of June, which is when we are tallying up all the money we have earned to donate to, again, organizations, as I have mentioned, which are Doctors Without Borders, Operation Olive Branch, the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, and a charity of your choice. So at the end of the video, I will go through it and we'll count up everything and see how much we earned. But first, we're freaking out over books. So let's get started with that. I don't know if you can tell, I also hung up my little art prints that I said I was gonna hang up since forever ago. And because I'm really indecisive with stickers and I always like hate the idea of using them, I hung up one of the stickers that I got. So I'm really excited. Anyway, so without further ado, hello, welcome back. It's a new day, a new sleigh, and a new video where I have something to say. And today we're gonna be ranking some of the best books that I read so far in 2024. Let's get through them. I'm doing a little bit of a different version of this freakout tag because for this specific video, all of the books I'll be talking about are all written by people of color. So that's just a fun little addition to this tag because, you know, it's fine for people to bring up Sarah J. Maas for like the 50,000th time. Like what you like, as long as they're not a Zionist. But I think this is just a great opportunity to highlight more writers of color and diverse stories. As you can see, I'm wearing my shirt. We need diverse books. So allow me to highlight some for you to read, okay? The first category is the best sequel I read in 2024, which, no surprise, hands down has to be Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. The sequel that a lot of people asked for, the author didn't want to write, but was a slay either way. I do have a video review for this one where I talked about machismo and specifically how it harms boys equally as it does women. So you can watch that. I hope you do. If you haven't already, which, I mean, I feel like you should have, but I mean, if you didn't, it's okay. I can forgive that. This is the first book. Again, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which is about two teenage boys named Ari and Dante. And they're just going through their adolescent life, discovering love, relationships, family, community, and all those good things. So these books go hand in hand. Funny enough, I haven't talked about it on the channel, I don't think so. This is a movie now. They made a movie for Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, and it's really good from what I've seen from the trailers and reviews. I want to watch it. I don't know how. I honestly haven't looked too much into it. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. Just so you know, if you want to get into this, you are at a peak opportunity to get into this because there's a movie of this one, a sequel, everything's good, you're set up for success. I highly recommend you reading both of these books if you haven't already, and if not, at least checking out the sequel. It's really good. So the Aristotle and Dante series is written by Benjamin Alire Sáenz, who is a Mexican author, and he is also a part of the LGBTQ community and has been a very vocal advocate for the community. So feel free to go support him. He has a ton of other books, and okay, this isn't part of the tag, but Aristotle and Dante is one of his more like well-known series. One of his other books that I did really enjoy, and I don't know if a lot of people talk about, is He Forgot to Say Goodbye. Again, Benjamin Alire Sáenz is one of my favorite authors of all time. This is another book that he wrote called He Forgot to Say Goodbye, and it specifically talks about the relationships between boys and their fathers, which is kind of like a theme that he addresses in a lot of his books, again with Aristotle and Dante, but this one is like really going in on that, and I really enjoyed this book because it also just has like very heavy themes of like family and like what you will do for family. It's really good. I would highly recommend this book on top of the Aristotle and Dante series. Oh my god, favorite author right here. What can I say? 3 books. Okay. A new release you haven't read but want to. So a new release actually came out this month. It's called Looking for Smoke by K.A. Coble, which I hope is how you pronounce her name. She's a debut author. She's an Indigenous woman. She is a member of the Blackfeet tribe, if I am understanding this correctly. I don't want to be disrespectful in any way. I hope I'm understanding this correctly. So it's a murder mystery based on the MMIW movement, which stands for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. Honestly, TBH, I'm in the middle of reading it, and so far I'm really liking it. I got to enjoy a free version from the library, which is great. Love it. I'm very excited to finish it, and you know, maybe I'll make a cute little video about it once I'm done, but I'm really excited. I'm almost done with it. I'm about, I think, a little less than halfway. It's getting good. See, the next one I kind of struggle with. So this is most anticipated release for the next half of 2024. I don't know if this counts because I've technically already read it, but one of my most highly anticipated releases for the next half would be The White Guy Dies First. So The White Guy Dies First is a collection of short stories all written by people of color, and they're horror short stories in which the white guy dies first. A lot of the underlying themes have to do with the conflicts and just like the day-to-day lives of people of color, so it's really interesting, and there's a lot of different like diverse themes and like horror aspects that are explored in this collection of short stories, so I would highly recommend it. I do have a review if you've watched it. I hope you did. I got an advanced copy of the book, so I got to read it. I got to do a little review of it. I was very excited, and I'm really excited to have everyone else enjoy this book and hear what everyone else has to say about it. Another one that I'm really excited for is, I believe it comes out in October or November, but it's a graphic novel based on Blue Beetle, which if you don't know, oh my god, I discovered Blue Beetle once the movie came out. I think it was like last year, and I discovered Cholo Maridueña, which I really enjoyed the movie, and I honestly had no idea that Blue Beetle was a thing, so I was like, okay, slay. They're coming out with a graphic novel based on Blue Beetle called This Land Is Our Land. So it kind of talks about the gentrification. I believe, where does it take place? I think it's Texas. But it just talks about like the gentrification of these like border towns and how like people will buy out these like poorer neighborhoods and then like make them high-end living and essentially push out these communities of color. So I thought it was a really interesting read, and you know, I don't really read graphic novels too often, but I love Blue Beetle, like so genuinely in my heart. I love Blue Beetle, so I really wanted to read that. I know it's kind of like a departure from my normal books that I read and content I consume, but yeah, that's definitely one of my anticipated releases. I did request an ARC and I haven't heard back. It's okay, I'm not mad. Okay, biggest disappointment of 2024 has to be, hands down, no question, Blood at the Root. I was so disappointed. I wanted to like this book so bad. I purposefully sought out that book because I was like, I'm gonna love it. It had a lot of qualities that I like in so many other books, and the way that it was pitched and marketed, it was like chef's kiss. It was literally amazing. I loved the beginning. I loved the author's note. Everything was great. And then I read the rest of the book and it went downhill. I honestly haven't seen a lot of people reflect my sentiment in the book community. I haven't seen a lot of like reviewers, or I mean, even after posting the video and having a lot of people like support me and say like, yeah, you're valid, I still feel like maybe I was wrong. I've even like searched up other like booktubers to see what other people had to say about it, and I didn't see a lot of people feeling the same way as I did, which is fine. I mean, people can have differing opinions and it really does not affect me at all, but I'm just like, I don't know. I think I'm more looking for validation. If Read with Cindy comes out with a video about this book and she's like, okay, no, this actually sucks, then I'll feel validated. Although I'm not saying the book sucks. I'm saying a lot of the way that certain subject material was handled in that book was not good. I think like pacing wise and just like overall world building and plot wasn't that great either. It just like, it was a great idea. It was a great concept. It just was not executed well. I feel like there's so many better versions of what that book was trying to be. So, I mean, in comparison, it really fell flat for me personally. I am so disappointed because I wanted to like it so badly. I was literally about to purchase the special edition from Satisfaction box. I was gonna buy it with the cute little edges, with everything. I was gonna shell out $60 for that book. I'm not gonna like, you know, be mean to anyone that did buy that version of the book or like generally pays money for special editions of books. Like, I don't think that that's bad. It was just the fact that I was gonna do that. I think it would have hurt more if I bought the special version of the book and was like all excited to get it, and then I finally read it and I hated it. So I saved myself a lot more heartache than I could have felt. But yeah, biggest surprise, the problem is that sometimes with things like this, or in general, like questions, whatever, sometimes I think I take things a little too literally. So when they say biggest surprise, I'm like, what does that mean? I took it as like something that like surprised me that I liked. So for me, that was Wander in the Dark by Jumada Emil. I also don't have the physical copy of that book. I got it from the library. And I say it's a surprise because if you've been following my channel for a while now, you'll know that I reviewed The Black Queen by Jumada Emil, which was his debut novel. And I had similar critiques of that book that I did for Blood at the Root, and that's specifically how it handled a lot of like female characters. There was also some like slut shaming in that book too, which I didn't particularly enjoy, specifically because that slut shaming was done to a victim. So I had some critiques in terms of that kind of subject material, but I happened to make that review shortly before he came out with his second novel, which is Wander in the Dark, another murder mystery standalone. So when I went into that book, I had the experiences that I gained with reading The Black Queen. Like, I was holding my breath while I was reading the book because I was hoping to see some improvement, and I was pleasantly surprised to read that book and see that there was major improvements, not only in subject material but also just general craft wise. The story, the pacing, everything was done so much better in the second book. So I was definitely pleasantly surprised with all the improvements that were made, and I generally liked that book so much better than I did The Black Queen, because even though I was like nervous and scared to read the book, I definitely liked it so much better. I thought it was a really great example of how, like, constructive criticism, when delivered in a way that's not like meant to be mean or harmful in any way, can be really beneficial to an author and their craft. So that was definitely a pleasant surprise for me, and I really enjoyed the book. And honestly, Jumada Emil just kind of like put me onto murder mysteries. Like, before The Black Queen, before I read that book and before I honestly consumed any of his books, I wasn't really reading that kind of content, but he really put me on, so that was also a surprise. I've read so many other mysteries since then, and for everything that went wrong with The Black Queen and then reading Wander in the Dark, it really helped me gain a new perspective and appreciation for mysteries, and specifically murder mystery books. So yeah, it really opened my eyes, I will say. And now we get to favorite new author. And this technically isn't a new author in terms of like they just put out this book. This is a new author for me because I had never consumed their content prior to this. As I mentioned, Benjamin Elire Science is my favorite author of all time, but my favorite author of 2024 that I've been introduced to in this year, it has to be either Farida Abike Iyimide or Tracy Deonn. They just chef's kiss all around with their books. Since discovering them as authors, I have read, from Tracy Deonn, I read Legendborn, and then immediately purchased a copy of Bloodmarked. And whoop whoop, she just announced the third book in the series, that being Oathbound. And I saw the art for that and I was like, ooh, she ate so irrevocably. If I think that this year is gonna be booked and busy for me, next year is gonna be even worse. We got two banger back-to-back releases. First of all, in 2025 we have the third book in the They Both Die at the End series coming out, which is, it's like No One Knows Who Dies at the End, something like that. But that book is coming out in 2025. Then we have Oathbound, which is the third book in the Legendborn series, which is coming out, I think, March 18th. It's coming out in March of 2025. And then let us not forget that the queen herself, Suzanne Collins, is coming out with another Hunger Games prequel, that being Sunrise on the Reaping, coming out also March 2025. And I'm gonna say thank you to our queen Suzanne Collins and Tracy Dion, because they chose my birth month to come out with these books. Truly, they didn't have to do that for us Aries queens, but I will take my blessings where I can get them. Also, in case anyone had any questions, this is my coaster, and it's toast. And then with Farida Abike Imide, I have her poster right here. I read Ace of Spades first, then I read Where Sleeping Girls Lie. So I have Where Sleeping Girls Lie right here. So I got that. And then I haven't showed you guys, but I didn't buy it. So nobody come for me. I didn't buy it. It was given to me as a gift. But I also got her new book that she co-wrote with, I forgot who it is. 4 Eids and a Funeral. So she like co-wrote that book. I have it now. It was given to me. And I also got a cute little poster with it. I'll do a little, like, technically not unboxing because I got the book like that. But I will unveil that in a later video. So look forward to that. Anyway, yeah, they're the Slay of 2024. And they're both women of color, shaking up the industry. Love it. Newest favorite character. So I interpreted this question in a few different ways, because first I was gonna go like, who would I want to come to life and marry me? So in terms of like fictional delusional crushes, I would have to say Duke Mong from Song of the Six Realms. If he would simply come to life, he could come to me in my dreams. I'm just kidding, that's weird. Literally chef's kiss of a love interest. I love that man, okay? But in terms of like just characters overall with like vibes, I would have to say it's a tie between Sade from Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I just love that she's like, I can't say much without spoiling a major twist in that book, but just know she's a girl to watch. And then another character that I really enjoyed and has to be one of my favorites is Leela Macapagal from Arsenic and Adobo. She is the protagonist, and I love her because she just has so much character. She's so like, if she was like a real person, she would be like the personality hire of The Office. She has so much charisma, humor. She's just like an all-rounder. She's a baddie and she doesn't even try to be. She's just like, literally, she's that girl. I'm so sorry to tell you. And now we move on to a book that made you cry. Now, again, if you've been following me for a while, I went through a certain like rough patch where I was just like crying. I was just reading books that was constantly making me cry. Definitely one of my most favorite books that I read this year that made me cry has to be, like, literally no question, no competition, They Both Die at the End. They Both Die at the End is about these two boys, Mateo and Rufus. In this fictional world, people will get a call on the day that they're supposed to die, and this company, Deathcast, will tell them that sometime in the next 24 hours, they are going to die. So Mateo and Rufus, you know, they come together, they are unlikely friends, and they decide to spend their last day on Earth together. So this is them going through their very last day of life and all the decisions that they make. For Mateo, it's like come out of his shell and, you know, accomplish all the things that he wanted to do in life. And for Rufus, it's to kind of make amends and come to terms with the things that he has gone through and the choices that he has made. I just uploaded my review for this book, so I didn't even cry as much as I thought I would for that review, but trust you me, I wanted to. I wanted to bawl my eyes out. This book was just so good. And again, I apologize that I was just not like coherent at all in that video. I really tried, but I couldn't. I was still grieving. I was still processing my emotions. But yeah, so this is definitely my favorite book. I also was gifted the prequel to this book, which is The First to Die at the End. So I have that. I have not touched it because I value my peace. The next category is a book that made you happy. So if you want to mentally recover from They Both Die at the End, if you want to just feel some pure joy, happiness, and fun, I have to recommend to you Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. So this follows Leela Macapagal, as I mentioned, as one of my favorite characters. She moves back to her suburbia town after living in Chicago, and her ex-boyfriend, who is now a food critic, mysteriously dies at her restaurant. So this book follows Leela as she and her friends try to figure out what really happened to Derek while tasting some delicious, cute little restaurants around their town. So it's very like foodie, very cozy. It's just so much joy, happiness, and fun. All the characters are just so funny, and like the banter is like really cute. It's a good book. She's coming out with another book in the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series. She has a few books already out in this series, so you have plenty of content to go on to. And if those books, which I haven't read, are anything like this one, it's gonna be a good time. So I highly recommend that you read this book. I enjoyed every single minute of it. I even cooked some of the food that was in the book because she provides recipes at the end, so you can see my full review of the book plus my little cute cooking vlog. I know it was kind of like a departure from the normal content that I provide on this channel, but it was a lot of fun for me. I really liked it. They have a category called favorite book to movie adaptation. So far none of the books I've read technically have movie adaptations, so I'm gonna just say my most anticipated ones because there are a few coming out. Legendborn is going to be turned into a TV series, so I'm really excited to see that. And supposedly, I read a lot of articles that said the movie adaptation of They Both Die at the End is supposed to come out in 2024. Girl, we're halfway through. I haven't heard any news of this. Where's the cast? I need to have this confirmed for me because Netflix cannot pull what they did for the selection and saying that they were going to make this into a movie and then just drop it out of nowhere 10 years later after the fandom is still alive and well. So I'm looking forward to that. Otherwise, I guess, yeah, Aristotle and Dante technically is a movie adaptation, but I haven't watched the movie, so I can't really say. So my personal favorite review, I've done over 20 now on the channel. I think my favorite review that I've done for any of the books has to be The Black Queen. I know I just said that I didn't like the book, but the reason I like the review, it's definitely not like my most reviewed video on the channel. It doesn't have like the most likes or anything. It's one of my favorites because it marked like a really important milestone in my career. It just has one of the highest production values of my channel. I had like a whole murder board. I was recording for like 3 hours. I put a lot of effort and time into recording the video, and I did get a shout out, a mention from the author, which was a really exciting experience for me. The process of, you know, like recording videos, reading books, editing, and all that stuff is very time consuming. And at the time, it was like my channel was still very new and I was getting a ton of support from my family members and loved ones, and that felt great, but I was just at a point where I was like, I could just stop. It was just really hard for me to kind of envision the future and focus on the goal that I was working towards because it just felt like so much. I was doing so much work. I had a lot of like internal validation and internal incentive, but I was not seeing the external incentive to keep going. So this book, this review specifically, marked a huge milestone and really motivated me to continue working, because even though I may want to give up, or I can easily think like I could just stop making videos tomorrow and no one would know, no one would really care. It's like I'm just one channel of like however millions are on the platform. You know, I have things that I can contribute to the book community, and I have like thoughts and ideas that people do enjoy listening to, and I'm a person that people enjoy watching, at least I like to think so. But yeah, so this is definitely one of my favorite reviews, even though it wasn't my favorite book. But yeah, on to the most beautiful book that I have bought or received in 2024. Hands down, no questions asked. Song of the Six Realms is definitely the most beautiful book. I already showed it in my review, but so here is the book edges. Again, beautiful. Here, let me put it like long ways. I got this as a special Waterstones exclusive edition. Very beautiful. Again, the cover art, beautiful. Everything, the shade of purples. I really love the art for this book. I have a lot of beautiful books in my collection, but this is definitely top tier when it comes to beautiful books. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. We are at my favorite book of 2024 so far. I've read a lot of books. If you follow me on Goodreads, you'll know that I've read and reviewed 24 books. I've read mysteries, fantasies, nonfiction, fiction. I've read from people of color, from white authors. I've read every book there is, practically. Not really, but it feels like it. And the 24 books are only the books I reviewed. There's plenty of books that I read that I just didn't review, and I've read in my free time or prior to having this channel. I've read a lot of books, but there's one I keep coming back to, one that is always occupying my mind, the Roman Empire of books for me, and that is Legendborn. I don't have my copy of the book with me. I have it on display in my little office space. I don't have it right now, but Legendborn has to be my favorite, specifically because it awakened a certain like love and need that I have in my heart for like these fantasy series, young adult kind of fiction. I believe the genre is technically urban fantasy. Legendborn was one of like the first books that I read for 2024, so it also holds a special place in my heart. It was just so good. I really loved that. Oh god. It's based on like Arthurian mythology. Like I really enjoy just like the general story, how it like really intertwines a lot of like social issues and themes and ideas that we talk about in today's world, and kind of like, you know, ties them into like these magical aspects to try and like explain certain things. And I also really enjoyed the themes of like grief and loss and the effects that it has on people, especially amongst communities of color. There was just so much I loved about this book, and I physically had to stop myself from binging the series because I had other books that I wanted to read. So I still haven't read Bloodmark, but best believe I bought that special edition the minute it came out. And I've been refreshing NetGalley every single minute since they announced it because I'm getting an advanced reader copy. That's my goal for the rest of 2024. I have the next 6 months to acquire it, read it, love it, get on their PR list. Yeah, I have a lot of goals. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite reads of 2024 so far. Some honorable mentions. Ace of Spades definitely was a big contender. I think the only reason I didn't pick it is, again, like just because it was like more of the mystery genre, which it's not my go-to genre, and Legendborn just hit so many good places for me, where Ace of Spades did too, but just in a different way. I think if I were to categorize them based on genre, it would definitely be my favorite mystery to date. Another honorable mention I will say has to be They Both Die at the End and Arsenic and Adobo. Those three were really big contenders, but I had to go with Legendborn. I just had to. And with that, that is the end of the 2024 mid-year Freakout tag. I hope you sincerely check out all the books that I've recommended, all the books that I've read so far, especially Legendborn. I guarantee you'll love it. It's so good. And once again, allow me to say thank you so much for over 1,000 subscribers now. I was going to make a cute celebratory video for 1,000 subscribers, but it ended up turning into like a donation kind of, what is the word? Fundraiser. That's what it is. So the fundraiser was my way to celebrate hitting 1K subscribers. So thank you again so much to everyone, because you, truly you individually, gave me the opportunity to host this fundraiser and raise all this money for donations. So without further ado, let me announce that we have raised collectively over the entire month of June, we raised $134.44 exactly, which I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money, like for me to just make. I'm really proud of us. I'm really proud of myself, especially you. Thank you so much for checking out my videos every week and, you know, watching through those ads and supporting the channel, leaving comments, likes, subscribing. You guys really truly did this yourselves. So I was just the facilitator, but this is all you. So thank you so much for helping me make this happen, really truly from the bottom of my heart. This kind of like donations and, you know, being a conscious member of the community has always been a core mission and value of the channel since its inception. So thank you so much for allowing me to continue with that and giving me this amazing opportunity. I'm really excited to see what the next half of 2024 holds for us. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers already, which is like, oh my god, I can't even imagine. I have a lot more books coming for 2024. I don't want to like say for sure all the books I'm going to be reading, because it'll definitely get moved around. I have a lot of projects coming up, things that I want to do, but trust you me, I have a lot of books left to get through for 2024. So I'm so excited to get through the rest of this year with you guys by my side. Oh my God. All right. So the final percentages, 55% will be going to the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, 27% will be going to Operation Olive Branch, 15% to Doctors Without Borders, and 2% for a charity of your choice, which I will just round up because it came out to $2.68. I'm gonna just do like a $10 donation to both organizations that people suggested. So thank you so much to those people. That'll be funds for Ukraine and the Sunshine Kids Foundation. Thank you so much, everyone, for checking out the channel and tuning into my videos every single week. You have truly given me this is like the money you guys have given me. So I really truly couldn't have done it without you. I appreciate all your support and love throughout the past year. I'm super excited to continue giving you content and just reading books and sharing them with you guys. It's a good time. I'm having a lot of fun. From me and my bookshelf, thank you everyone for tuning in. This was the mid-year 2024 Freakout book tag. So I have a few books I have to catch up on. I was a little bit delayed, what with being sick and all. So we are currently transitioning out of Pride Month, so sad, but we are now entering into July, which is Disabilities Pride Month, which is to celebrate the achievements of people with disabilities. So I have a lot of great books to read that will highlight people with disabilities. I'm excited to get to them. I do have a few books that are on the back burner that will get pushed out first, but trust you me, I am aware, and I will be reading those books and I will be reviewing them for you. That's it. These books are a little heavy, but not that much because I'm just so swole and so buff, I don't even feel it. I do feel it, however, pressing against my windpipe, so I'm gonna move these. I'm going to have lunch/dinner now and get back to reading these books because I've been kind of slacking and I can't be a slacker. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. That's it. Time to get ready for the week. Thank you.